You hopped in Troopers 2021, that obviously
2021.
being like the COVID trial run type of season. How
Yeah.
difficult was that in your first year teaching in drum corps? How
Yeah.
difficult was that coming into the COVID year?
Yeah. So especially like for me, I aged out in 2017, and from 2017 to then, I had really no real like connection to drum corps. I
Mhm.
went to shows, I stayed up to date with scores, went to some shows, stayed in
Yeah.
touch with friends, but like my connection to the activity was kind of gone for those 4 years. And an opportunity came up. One of the guys that was doing his master's degree at Missouri State at the time, named Gabriel Durkop, he was a master's student in trombone, and his wife, Mary Durkop, was recently appointed brass caption head at
Mhm.
Troopers. And so she was looking for people to fill the team. And I had known Gabriel pretty well, being a tuba player next to a bass trombone player. We talked a lot. And he's like, hey, Andrew marched drum corps, you marched crown. You should
Yeah.
you should talk to him. So I met up with Mary, and she's like, okay, what do you think about joining the team? I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't done this before, but I'm a teacher. I've taught for 2 years. Sure, why not?
Right.
And so I ended up getting really lucky with that, bringing her, assembling a team, and considering me and bringing me on the team. And we get into that first season of going into 2021. It's like September of 2020. That summer was, I'm sure, it's the activity was like,
Not the easiest thing in the world to do. There was a lot of restrictions on what you could do in that
yeah.
summer. There was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of just things that were different, but the reason that it was like it had to happen that summer. If there was nothing that went on that summer, I don't know where we would be today.
Well, I'm actually
know.
talking about the 2020 summer, like before we even got there,
Oh,
like
okay.
where there was nothing happening. Like there was no drum corps. Like some people did some like Zoom recordings of like splicing everyone's videos together.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing was happening. And I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if it'll make it to now, but when we got the documents and the transition to our brass team, having those like 15 kids on the brass roster from that summer of 2020.
That's what you started with.
That's what we started with. We came into the process with 15 people that had marched 2020.
They had been under
That's where we started.
Troopers.
They had been in contract with the Troopers, and I think 4 of them were vets, and those were the 4 section leaders for the brass, essentially.
Boom. How do you go from there for the rest of the season? How do you like?
So the entire process from getting to that September of 2020 to the summer was just a grind.
Right.
Working for Mary as the caption head, with Tim Snyder being the program coordinator, but also like helping Mary with the brass team because that's his thing. Tim Snyder, former brass caption head for the Mandarins, for the Oregon Crusaders, for Troopers. Been around, done a lot. Great brass caption head, great guy. So very passionate about what he does. But now in this new program coordinator role where he's helping design the shows and write the music instead of being on the educational side. He did still help teach, but he's more you're teaching the team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he still runs ensemble. He runs the full group now.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is led by the people he put in place, like Mary and Lindsay and Lauren Teal, who's been at the Troopers for a long time as percussion caption head. She's awesome, by the way. That's awesome. Getting to 2021 was just because we had so few numbers, we were just recruiting, emails. It's like we met every week, every Sunday from September all the way until July. Because the COVID summer didn't start until July 1st in 2021. Right. So like every week, every Sunday was, how many people are you emailing? How many people are you calling? We still don't have a full drum corps. How many people have you texted today? What do we get those numbers up? Those are rookie numbers. Get your contacts up. And I remember just like sitting at my computer in my 1-bedroom apartment in Joplin, just like furiously emailing every single chance I got, reaching out to like, I was cold calling people. I was emailing people I had never talked to. I was,
oh my goodness.
I literally, so the Missouri All-State Band, I'm in Missouri. So I went through and tried to make connections to as many Missouri people as I could to try to recruit. I went down the Missouri All-State Band list and saw what every school had a musician in the All-State Band. Emailed their directors, hey, your kid's an All-State Band player. Are they interested in drum corps? Doesn't matter the instrument. We will take, if they are a good enough musician to make All-State, they're probably a good enough musician to march drum corps.
Right.
And I kid you not, I think I emailed like over half the band director population in the state of Missouri by the time May hit. And we put together this like huge database of band directors for colleges, high schools, everywhere across the country we could think of. Every connection we've ever had in the activity, we were reaching out to people to be like, "Do you got any kids? Any kids want to march? Any kids want to come out? Please." And it was no pun intended. It was relentless recruiting. It was relentless recruiting for that 2021 season.
Oh God.
Just it was
that's a lot.
There were times that I was like, I don't want to do this. This is not what I signed up for. This is not.
I'm cold calling. I'm
supposed to be teaching. And the worst part about it was like, because we were doing all this work with no camps, we didn't even see these kids. We didn't even see any of the members.
You don't even know what it's gonna be like when you actually get into. Oh my!
So it would literally be a revolving door of like, we get kids to buy in and say, "Yes, I'm gonna do it," and then within a week or two, they ghost us. And it's just, I think we went, but before filling up like a 70-person horn line, I think we went through 300 contracts or something crazy like that.
Whoa.
I think we extended over 300 contracts, and not everyone accepted all of them, and some people accepted and then dropped it.
Yeah,
but by the time that we were done and made it to July 1st, it was a ridiculous amount of people that had come through our system and left the system. And I think when it was all said and done, we got to July 1st and we had a full trumpet section of 24, 16 mellophones, 22 baritones, and 14 tubas. I think we could only get 14 tubas. And keep in mind, I was busting my butt. And so were the other tech staff, and the entire brass staff was just busting butt to try to fill this drum corps for a COVID season.
Yep.
Which, as you can probably attest to, a lot of people didn't want to do a COVID season.
Right.
A lot of people that had marched before
people who
were
had
like,
done the activity.
No,
people who had been in the activity for a while. Everybody I know who had did like a couple of years were just like,
nah. Yeah. So our big thing was like, I think out of the 70-something person horn line that summer, we had 4 vets. And without going too into detail of it, 2 of them quit within the first 2 weeks of that summer. So we were left with 2 troopers, vets that were our section leaders out of like a 70-person horn line, which was like crazy. Literally starting from scratch almost with a brand new team.
A brand new group.
Brand new brass team, brand new visual team, brand new. I think the only returning team that summer was percussion and admin. And even then, the admin staff was a lot of new people too. We had a new choir director, Mike Goff. Mike Goff was promoted to the choir director role. Shout out Mike Goff. Oh my God. Amazing choir director the last few years. Amazing human being. Love him.
Hell yeah.
He is like the father of the drum corps. He's such a good, he's such an advocate for the members and always keeps member experience front of the mind. He's moved into a new role recently. But Mike was the lead in the charge on recruitment too, from the admin side of things. I'm sure you saw some of like the promotional stuff Troopers was doing over social media.
Oh my God, I saw everything, dude.
Oh my
Corps
God.
were pulling out all the stops, bro, to get people that did. They were pulling out all the stops.
Mike is a silly, goofy guy. He'll do any. I don't know if you kept up with any of the Trooper social media, but he did this thing last summer where he dressed up in a wig and like wore old clothing and called himself Larry. He's trying to do like an undercover boss type thing. You can look it up. He's silly.
We gotta find this.
Gotta find it. You'll have to watch it after.
The
Troopers put out this like little mini docuseries following Mike dressed up as Larry doing undercover boss stuff for the drum corps. So this is the type of guy you're thinking about running social media, trying to recruit people for this 2021 season.
Yeah,
and putting out silly posts like, March the Troopers because we have the best mustaches in DCI. March Troopers because we're the most yeehaw corps in DCI. And we had put out so many social media posts that like literally are the last like string of social media posts was March Troopers because please.
Because please?
Because please.
Please.
March Troopers because please. And that's the one that went viral. That's the one that everybody talked about.
With the PLZ, they said, that's the one.
March Troopers, please March Troopers. And I think we literally finished filling the horn line for that summer because of that post. So many people submitted their application to join Troopers because
they really need this.
You know, it was really funny, and it was genius. And in the moment, we were like, "Oh my god, did we really just post because please on social media?"
And then all of these kids are like, "Hey, I want to march here."
Yes.
And you're like,
"Okay, yes, please." Yeah. Shout out to that 2021 horn line.
Wow.
Man, that group of kids was the most resilient and hardworking kids in a drum corps that I've seen, and marching or teaching the last 2 years. A lot of great kids. Yeah. But there was something special about that 2021 group coming together, putting your blind faith and trust to have a short season and go out to Casper, Wyoming to go do a month of drum corps. Like, yeah, I would not have done that if I was marching. I'd be like, no way. You're asking me to pay a couple $1,000 to be gone for a month to do band? No shot. No shot.
Those kids did.
And they did. And honestly, without that group of kids in 2021, I don't think the Troopers would be having the storyline we're having these days.